Hello guys and welcome to Naraka Bladepoint SOLOQ tier list. And my name is Master Demo, rank 1C peak SOLOQ in the leaderboards, and if you guys are interested in watching high-low gameplay, please do check me out in twitch.tv/Master Demo Senpai. Anyways, before we proceed guys, I would just like to say first that this tier list is based upon my experiences and opinions as a top player, so please do keep that in mind as well. And let's begin. So we will be starting from weakest to strongest. So weakest character as of now in SOLOQ is Yotohime. Surprised, aren't you? Well, not really, right? If you've been watching my streams, you guys will always often hear me say like, Yo, Yoto is the weakest character, free kill. Why? Because like Yoto just has the most useless ultimate in SOLOQ as of now in the game. Why is it useless? Your ultimate can be tap dodged. What is a tap dodge? It's a mechanic in game where you can just dodge, right? But like, what makes it so bad? You can dodge an ultimate, right? You can tap dodge an ultimate, which means you can literally press one key in your keyboard and you can not get damaged by her ultimate at all. That's why he's one of the worst characters in SOLOQ right now, because like your ultimate needs to be something. It needs to be something that helps you either reset, get some damage, give you space, but it gives you nothing. It just gives you nothing. Although her ult can be useful in the late game where like, you know, you can control the zone as while it's closing. Sure, like it can help you win in that situation in late game, but like will you reach late game, right? There are three stages in the game. Early game, mid game, and late game. So your ultimate basically is useless from early game to late game. So will you even survive in late game as a Yotohime if your ultimate is useless? Which means you'll only basically practically rely on your only skill, which is your F skill as a character. And that's not enough. You're basically capping yourself, you're basically playing SOLOQ without a B, so that is really hard, and like it just caps you until late game at the least. Her F skill is really, it's fine, it's good actually. It can get you out of combos, you know, help you out, help you reset. It's good, but like, yeah, the biggest problem is like your ultimate. It's useless. It needs to be useful to someone, you know? I guess maybe you can try to outplay people by like pressing your LMB while holding on the air so you can fly, but it's still just useless. People can just grapple you, which makes her D tier. I'm sorry, like maybe like D to C, but like just because her ultimate is just so bad, early game to late game, early game to mid game, it's just a D tier, guys. So next character is Kirimi. So Kirimi, her F skill is basically useless. Why is it useless? In every single fight, if you get comboed, if you're stuck in a combo, you have nothing to escape from. Like, her F heals you, but it doesn't help you from getting away from combos. It doesn't help you reset. So basically, when you're fighting, you can't use it, right? And that's a really bad thing early game, right? Because, you know, early game to mid game, if you're like capping yourself on your F, like if you're not using your F, if you don't have an F, most characters will always have an advantage over you. Actually, all characters will have an advantage over you because they have Fs that can help them or save them from fights, which in Kirimi does not. Like, Kirimi does not have an F, basically. But you can use your ult to heal once you reset if you somehow get away from your pursuer, from the enemy. But as I said, it's still it's just useless. If you're fighting, it's useless. So you basically have no F. Her V, although her V is like, it's actually not bad. It's okay. You can use her V as a means of resetting. What I mean by resetting is like you can press her V, heal yourself up, or like if you use other variations of your V as a Kirimi, you can either use the burst heal or either the circle here. The circle heal heals you while you stay in the circle, which is pretty okay as well. Because you neutral people can contest you in that circle because you're gonna keep healing. So it will give you a reset. But the problem is, right, if you're fighting a person without your ultimate, you're basically naked. You basically have nothing, right? You have nothing, right? You're basically fighting somebody without an F, and everybody else has an extra skill and you don't. And that's really, really bad in fights like those. Then you would have to most likely rely on your sword fighting skills and, you know, outplaying people. So it's really not good. But she is, you know, her ult is like still useful, and her F can still be used in the right way. If you're really good at like outplaying people, it can still be used. You can still heal yourself for sustain, so it's not completely useless. It's just really bad, I guess. Almost useless, but not as useless as like Kyoto's ultimate. So I would put her in C because she has a functioning ultimate. Her F is, you know, I did say it's useless, but like, you know, you can heal yourself if you can get away. So she's just a teacher right now. Next up is Chiang Hai. So Chiang Hai used to be my main character actually. I used to love this character. His F is pretty good. It's not insane, but it's pretty good. Good F. It's kind of like go to F. You can get a free reset. Well, sorry, not a reset, but like you can get an advantage by, depending on your variation of F, you can either knock down your opponent or disarm them using your F, or like save yourself from a combo. If you're stuck in a combo, you can use your F, save yourself from a combo, help yourself out, get a light reset, and maybe, you know, get an advantage. That's his F. His V though is really questionable. It's not as bad as Yoto's, but it's not as good as Kirimi's ult. Kirimi's ult is way better than Kenai's V, but Kenai's F is way better than Kirimi ult. So basically Kenai is one step above Kirimi. Why? Because Kenai ult at least is not completely useless, but it's really bad because you basically transform into a huge target. Yes, you can grab people, but people can really easily dodge your grabs. You can tap dodge it, you can just outplay you while shooting you, and you're just gonna die slowly from that. So the moment you use your V as a Tianai, it's only a means of resetting your HP bar. You do get your full HP back as a Tian Hai when you use your V and when you deform, but you don't have any armor. So it's still it's not the best, and as you deform, people can still hit you. They have priority over you as you are deforming. So F is really is okay. B is questionable, but it's bad, it's questionable, but like, you know, it can still work out, but just really bad, right? Big target, can get shot by everybody. It does reset your HP, but you know, it's still not good for you. So C tier. One step above Kirimi. Why? Because like F. Kirimi's F is useless most of the time. Kanai's F is useful, so that's what makes Kanai better than Kirimi. His F and I guess his ult is slightly just worse. Not slightly, but like, I mean, worse than Kirimi. But yeah, F is really important early game, and you know, you're gonna be using most of the time more than your ult. So yeah, Kanai is slightly above Kirimi in my opinion. Temulch. Temulch actually, I would say, is like pretty playable in SOLOQ. His F can get you away from certain combos, and you can also retaliate by pressing it again to fire like a sandball that can like knock out people. And if you knock them up, if you're able to hit it, and depending on your variation, there's a variation where you can aim it, and if you shoot it, it's way faster. And there's a variation where you can, it's like a homing missile type of sandball, which is I would probably use because it's way easier to hit. and if you hit that, you get a guaranteed focus tag. You either get a guaranteed focus tag or a combo, but I'm pretty sure you can only get a focus tag from it. So that's like basically good damage if you're able to hit it, and you get away from a combo. But like Temosh's F is punishable. If you are expecting the F, he just jumps in the air. You can easily punish this by pressing uppercut, by doing an uppercut, sorry. And if you do an uppercut, you're gonna hit him in the air and he's gonna drop, and you can punish him but for that. So keep that in mind. So F, not totally useless, but it's okay, it's usable. Although punishable, it's usable. His B is a good reset. You can use his B for a good reset. Basically, use your B. It summons like a circle wall around you, which blocks people, projectiles from entering. Will not completely block people from entering. They can still enter, but they will be slowed for an amount of time, and they're gonna be losing their entire stamina, so they can't really hard chase you. So it does give you enough time to heal up your HP, and after that, it's just a reset. You fight again. Also, you can use your B if you really want to secure the kill. You can use your B to trap somebody or something like that. But usually, you would want to use your B as a means of resetting. I don't really main this character, but like that's what I see most of the time. Either you reset or like you aggressive with your ult. It's not bad. You can definitely play around this character. Definitely viable B, and like they're both functioning B and F. They're both pretty okay. So I would place him in B tier in solo queue. Definitely play with a character. Alright, so next character, guys, is Viper. Viper is basically an all-in character, which shuts down her opponents really, really fast. Why can she do that? Because her F gives you a silence, which disables their F ability and B ability for a few seconds, and her B gives you an AoE silence or a stun depending on what version you choose, but usually people go for B3, the one without a stun, like a 5-second stun. Why? Is because like if you choose the version with a stun, you won't be able to move freely. You'll be just walking. You can dash, you can jump, but it's not enough to chase somebody down. And the reason why is because like Viper's ult is line of sight. If they're behind a wall or any structure, you won't be able to stun them if you don't see them. And because of that, the V1 or his V2 or V2 is not really good for solos, because people can easily dodge them or hide behind a tree or just like juke you pretty quickly because they can freely move and you can't. So people usually use V3, whereas you are allowed to move and do anything, except that people they won't be stunned basically. Like the opponents won't be stunned. Instead, they will be silenced for a duration, and they will get a semi-stagger after your ultimate. And that semi-stagger provides good neutral. It gives you advantage. So basically, in that 0.5 second stagger, you can either get a hit or get a combo out of it if they don't properly avoid you or like do something to get out of the pressure. But yeah, really good character for 1v1s, and it's solo queue. Most likely you'll win most of your fights if you know how to use her. You do have to rely on your sword fighting skill, so you have to be pretty skilled in terms of mechanics if you want to use her. But one of her weaknesses is that yeah, she does not have any defensive capabilities, and if somebody's gonna third party you or like you want to reset, it's really hard to get a reset with Viper, because yeah, there's nothing's gonna save you because your entire kit is just spent for fighting. So if you're the one losing, then it's gonna be really rough for you. And that's why she's an A tier. She's a really good character, but yes, you have to be really good mechanically, sword fighting, to make her like really work the best, because all her skills are it's just like a bridge for you to do better, to get an advantage, and all the rest is just your mechanics. That's basically Viper. Okay, next character is Hirishan. So Hirishan is basically an upgraded version of Chiang Hai. But the difference between Chiang Hai and Hirishan is Hirishan's ult is way better than Chiang Hai, and that's because when you use your ult as a Hirishan, you don't transform into a massive hitbox. You transform into just a slightly bigger character than the normal character, maybe like ×2 of your character. And aside from that, people cannot stagger you in this state. Meanwhile, you are given like a spear or something, which you can freely just like the spam LMB, and they have nothing to stop it. If you hit them once, they're gonna get staggered. They're just gonna fall around and it's just gonna die. They can't fight it. And you can, there's a couple of variations. You can hold it into a stronger attack, which deals like a shit ton of damage, and you can hold LMB or RMB to just like either lunge at opponents in the ground or just like do a massive AoE attack. And you're most likely gonna use V1 SOLOQ, and V1 gives you an F skill on your ultimate that if you hit it, it's basically your entire full HP bar. So if you don't have armor, if your armor breaks while fighting the ultimate and he Fs you, you're just dead. You just get one-shotted if you don't have armor. So basically, you will never want to fight his ultimate on the ground, and you just can't do anything. So the only thing you can do about Yushan's ult is run away. You run away, jump, and grapple into a tree, and then you won't be able to do anything. Because as of now, Yushan's ult like owns anything that's like, you know, on the ground. But if you use the rooftops, if you're on high ground where he can't reach, he struggles on, you know, catching players. So that's one of the biggest weaknesses. So what does this ult do for him then? Then the best thing your ult can do for you, it gives you space and you can run really fast and just, you know, give you a reset. And that's just way better than Chiang Hai's ult. And aside from that, you have a really good F skill, which basically in any scenario, whether you get knocked up or stuck in a combo, you can press F to just get away. You do deal a bit of damage if you hit them with your F. It's like a shoulder bash, a golden shoulder bash, which means you won't be staggered by anything. You're immune to everything. Why is it better than Chiang Hai's F? Well, it's just because it covers more range. I mean, Chiang Hai's F is really good too, but like the reason why Yushan's F is better is just covers more range, and it's almost always just gonna hit because it's a vertical shoulder bash. But like Chiang Hai's F can be predicted. You know, they can just wait for it. If you F, it's just an AoE around your small AoE. So if they dodge that or like predicted, it won't really affect them. So yeah, basically just a really way better Chiang Hai made for SOLOQ. Aside from your V resetting, the only weaknesses that this character have is like, I guess he can be chased while you're ulting, and once you deform, you do get your HP back. So you can like still like, you know, fight. You maybe can get one pod depending on where you want to go. Usually you want to go in a place where you can juke people like houses, and that's his only number one weakness is like getting chased. You can still get chased, people can still stalk you. Like the moment you use your ult, usually people will just run away and just heal up, so you'll be at a disadvantage. You know, you won't have any armor, you'll have to run away. That's the only, I guess that's the only reason why he can't be S tier. But for now, he's only A tier because he can't get a full reset on his V. His F is really good. His V is not bad. It gives you space, but it does not give you a full reset. You can still be chased pretty easily. If you go high ground, they grapple up, you go to trees, you're not doing anything. You're just gonna run away. Alright guys, so next character is Matari. So my opinion about this character, guys, is I think she's the most specialized and easiest character to play in the game. Why do I say she's the most specialized character for this game? It's because her kit is all about surviving, and VR games are about surviving. There are placements. if you want to play for placements and you don't focus on going for kills too much, she's the best character for you. Why? Because she's just most really consistent at staying alive, and her kit just gives you all the things you need to survive. Let's start with her F. Her F gives you a blink skill, which you can blink out of certain combos that are not true. And aside from that, the range is pretty decent. You can outplay people with it. Like per se, let's say you drop into Lestra, you use your F to like go up, and then you can just freely navigate pretty easily, and like, you know, have just better mobility on like compared to all the characters. She has the most mobility compared to all the characters. She has the best, like, you know, movement in terms of skills. So just by using her F, you can get free resets depending on where you are. Her F's weakness though is like if you are in the open, it's pretty easy to track you. So as a Matari, you really want to use your background, you know, your environment. Sorry, not background, but your environment a lot to just freely, you know, juke your opponents. Use the walls, do wall climbing, go to the trees, you know, specialize in your grapples. You need to really be aware on where you should be going and how you should be moving some Matari, right? You need to be a really good movement player. And her V basically gives you invisibility where it's really hard to track you in terms of like shooting and in terms of tracking on your melee. If you notice, you're gonna miss a lot of your attacks most of the time when you're fighting Matari, because if you're fighting Matari and they're invisible, you can't really track something that's invisible, so you have to manually aim that even as melee. That's why it's a bit hard, but it's not impossible. You can still hit her from time to time if you know you're right in front of her. You just see her, you can kind of still aim that. But her V does also reset her F ability, right? And what's better is like she has two really good F variations right now, which is like I think it's her F3 that gives you a recall, and an F2 that gives you a double blink. Usually people would go with F3. Start with F3 first, the recall. Recall gives you a chance to go back to the most recent place you pressed F on. So let's say you press F now and you run around like super far away, you can press F again to go back on the place where you used your F. So basically it just gives you a lot of opportunities and chances to outplay opponents. It's really good. It's gonna be like a 50-50 for them, right? Either they chase you or you just press F back. And most players nowadays use F3. It's really good for outplaying, and it's just more preferable right now, I guess, for most Matari players. Even I would just use F3 if I was using Matari. Actually, I used F3 when I played on tournaments, so I would recommend F3. But F2 is also good. It just depends on your playstyle. Basically, F2 gives you 2 blinks, right? And it just gives you more, like, you know, I guess more more chances to make mistakes. You know, you can like F out and maybe run a bit and then fight back again and then F out again. Basically, like, it's like another chance for you to, like, you know, get another reset or either do another play. Similar to the F3, but just like a difference of playstyle. So it really just depends on your playstyle if you want the double blink or the recall. I think they're both still pretty okay, but in my opinion, I would say the recall is better. It has more outplaying potential. But yeah, character that's just insane at surviving, and that's the point of a beer game. You don't really have to get the most kills. She's really consistent. You can easily just run away from any character except for Viper. Because why? Because if a Viper gets an F on you and she uses her V, you can't run away. Although it depending on how you play, right? It's not really hard to avoid a burst from Viper. It really depends on your skill, right? It depends on your movement. It depends on your opponent as well, how good they are. That's why Viper is only A tier, because it really relies on you yourself as a player, right? So just because you're so consistent and you can just literally stay alive for the entire of the game, and it's, trust me, it's really not hard to use her. It's really like basic to use. It's really easy, and you do lose to like For example, you do lose to like, you know, Valda or maybe like Tarka Fs. They have more aggressive Fs than you, like Viper. So they might have an advantage to you, but despite that, you're just still really good. You can still outplay them, and you just need to, you know, read those skills. You just have to play around your movement, and you'll be fine. That's why I think, Matari is S tier. Really good character, really consistent. Like all your skills are really functional, and yeah, you can just stay alive to late game and just chill. Really hard to chase you. Like you're basically unkillable if you're between houses and shit. So S tier. Tarka. Hey, Tarka is, I would say, like he's more of like, in terms of playstyle, right? He's really balanced in terms of playstyle. What does that mean? Because you can, as a Tarka, when you use your ult, it gives you mobility, super fast mobility, and at the same time, it gives you priority. It gives you advantage. Why? Because you can you can cancel things faster than a normal character once you're in your ult. And aside from that, the biggest thing about Tarka that you just want to know is you can elbow people. What do I mean making elbow people? You can press shift and you'll do an animation elbow attack, which will stun somebody for a decent amount of time. And with the katana, you can do an infinite combo. And what's an infinite combo? Like infinite combo, basically. You just like kill them easily with just one combo, and they can never do anything. If they don't have, like some characters, for example, Matari, if you shift a Matari, either she uses her ult or she dies. Her F cannot get out of an infinite combo. Basically what it does is like you shift, you get stunned, they LMB you, they uppercut you with the Tarka, you're stuck in the air for like eternity, unless you're a Valda with an F or a Chiang Hai with an F1 or something, an F, like anything that has an F that can save you, like Hirishan. If you don't have that, you're fucked. And even if you still do, damage has been done. Like your HP's gonna be fucked after that, right? He's gonna get like 1 or 2 hits, and you're already like burning and shit. You're just gonna be in a huge disadvantage. You can never fight a Tarka when he's ulting, basically, right? And it becomes balanced because like if you get third party, you can also use it to save yourself, right? Aside from fighting, aside from being able to fight anyone, you're given a chance to run away and just get a free reset. People cannot chase you, and there's no point to chase you, because if they chase you, they'd also die. You're free. You can do anything you want. You can grapple, like they chase you, just kill them. You can do a lot of things with this also. That's why I say it has a pretty balanced playstyle. You can either go really aggressive or just play safe. You can do both as this character, which makes him really, really strong. And he's actually the second best character, in my opinion, right now in the game. Third, Matari. Second, Tarka. And that's the reason why he literally has priority over you if he uses ult. He can do a lot of things. Aside from that, he has a really good F, which is, it's like a parry basically. If you like, people cannot damage you if you're in the state, and if they do hit you, you can retaliate by pressing LMB, and if you hit them with that shoulder bash, you're basically gonna do a shoulder bash if they hit you with your F or with your parry. And what does it do? It gives you a free combo, like a free 0-1 combo that will break your armor, and plus you're burning a bit, just a bit more damage, and it's just really good neutral. And like he's just like insane, just really balanced. You can be really aggressive and you can be really consistent at surviving at the same time. That's what makes Tarka really good, aside from having a fucking infinite combo. And like he's the only character now with an infinite combo. Infinite. Something you cannot fucking dodge if you don't have a skill to dodge it from. So yeah, he's just second best character, insane character. Like basically can do anything. Aggression, play safe. Crazy character. Alright, so Demo, if Tarka can do all that, why is Tarka not the best character in SOLOQ right now? Well, let me explain that to you in a second. So why is Vala the best character in SOLOQ right now? Start with her F. Basically, all you have to know is F free. It's all that matters right now. It's F or F free. That's the only variation that you want to play in this character right now. Why? It's because basically her F free gives you a chance to just avoid any single combo, even if you're in the air, even if you're getting knocked up, even an infinite combo. And aside from that, you can get a free combo out of it. How? It's because when you press F free, you do like a dodge animation, and aside from that, it leaves free bubbles in front of you. Whereas, let's say if somebody's committing an attack to you and you press F free, like 100% of the time, if they're just in front of you and you press F free, they will be stuck in that bubble. It's really fast. They will get stuck in that bubble, and what happens when they're stuck in the bubble? It gives you time. You have enough time actually to just like dash in front of them and do any combo you want. And there's a combo called there's combos called TODs right now. It means touch of death. And what does touch of death mean? Basically combos at 0 to 100 you. What does 0 to 100 mean? Basically, in one fucking combo you're dead. You can't do anything. If you don't have an F, you're fucked. You're just dead. If you don't dot if you don't have nothing to retaliate on that too, you're just dead. You just, whatever you do, you're just dead. 0 to 100. Like, the moment you use your F and you get stuck on that bubble, they can do a combo that can just erase you. Even without the V. Basically, you can either do a combo that will literally just like either almost kill you or kill you, depending on your HP, without your ultimate. That's a TOD. But you can also do a TOD like to just like confirm the kill with your ultimate. So let's just, since this is just a tier list, I won't go too deep on that. Let's just say the character can literally just kill you by using her F. And that's a lot. Being able to get a free combo after pressing your F and saving yourself at the same time, she is the only character who can do that in this game right now. And that's fucking broken. Because your F should only be covering something that that's the only one thing, right? Should only be covering one thing, but her fucking F covers two things. Saving you and giving you neutral advantage. And that's just not fair, because all these characters Fs are not like that. They only cover one thing, right? Saving you, that's it. Most characters just like save you, give you reset. But her fucking F gives you a reset and a free combo. A 0 to 100 combo. And that's like crazy, right? Aside from that, right? Her V, right? If you literally, you will not want to fight a Valda with a broken armor. Why? Because she can press V, and if she can get your HP to like 75%, and she hits V, you're just dead. Like anywhere around her, like, you know, it's a melee game, right? So you have to get closer to kill her, right? Her ultimate, basically, if you press her ultimate, she gets like a golden indication where you just can't stagger her, and then when she uses her V, you'll get like staggered a bit, and she's gonna summon a wave, and if you get hit by that with below 75% HP, you're dead. You basically float around the air, and she'll have a chance to throw her spear. She'll have a spear, and if she throws that to you 75%, you're just dead. It kills you. So that means, as a Valda, if you have ultimate, aside from having a broken F that wins you neutral every time, people just cannot fight you with no armor. At all. Nobody can. And what is it? Why? But like, can't you just infinite as Tarka? No, you can't, because if you press V and you get hit while in your Tarka ultimate, right? It deactivates your ultimate, and you lose HP. It's crazy. Which makes you just the best 1v1 character. Like, whatever you do, the only way to win a fucking Valda is just destroy her. You basically need to break her armor and make her use her ultimate before you will use your ultimate. But like, that's super fucking hard because of her kit. Her F that saves her, gives free combo, plus her V that deals insane damage. It's just really hard, right? So if you're fighting a Valda as any other character, you're already at a disadvantage. You don't have to do anything. Just by fighting against the character, you're at a disadvantage. That's how fucking great she is right now in SOLOQ. And she honestly needs to be nerfed. At least her F needs to be nerfed. Like, you just can't have two things at the same time. Getting a combo and getting away from anything at the same time, that's just crazy, right? But I mean, she also has her weaknesses, obviously, but it's pretty normal, I guess. You're an all-in character, kind of like Viper, but just way fucking broken, way better. I guess, if you don't handle yourself properly in terms of your positioning, you can still get third-partied and get killed pretty easily, if you don't have your V. And if you're low HP, you just need to commit. But that's the thing, right? Even if she doesn't have a V, she's still pretty damn insane, and you can really outplay so easy with her. Way easier than any other character. That's why a lot of people are using her right now. And in SOLOQ, if it's not like tournament and SOLOQ are two different things, really different games, right? In tournament, she will be weaker for sure because everybody else will know how to deal with you. Like, and aside from that, you can get easily third-partied, and in tournaments you will get third-party a lot. And as a Valda, if you don't have your ultimate in a tournament, basically it's really hard to fight somebody with an ultimate, right? So you basically just lose. You get third-partied. But in SOLOQ, that does not matter as much, because in SOLOQ, people want to just improve, want to fight, want to keep fighting, and you won't always get to be in like the most cracked lobby. It's SOLOQ is really easy compared to tournament, and that's just a fact. Ask any other pro player. SOLOQ is just way easier than tournament. Yeah, because of that, she's just a SOLOQ stomper right now. Valda is just an insane SOLOQ stomper right now, and yeah, nothing can stop her until she gets nerfed. I honestly think her F needs a nerf. It really does. And yeah, that's it for the tier list, guys. Like, if you like this tier list, and if you want more like tier list, like weapon tier list, just please do like give the video thumbs up, or just comment down below your opinions. I don't know. But yeah, that's it for this tier list, guys. I hope you appreciate it. I did not say like every detail here because it's just a tier list. So if you guys want some other videos, please do just like say anything. And yeah, that'll be it for this tier list, guys. And peace, boys. Hope you appreciate it.